Welcome. I'm Sue Warnke and I'll be emceeing this virtual gala tonight. We wish you were here in person, but we're happy that you've joined us. I'm here to share about San Francisco City Impact, an incredible organization that has made an enormous impact in my own life personally and has made an impact in the lives of the inner city of San Francisco here in the Tenderloin. I want to start by sharing about Roger Huang, who's the founder of City Impact, started this 36 years ago and has dedicated his life to this organization. Roger, as well as his wife, Maite. So Roger was a Taiwanese immigrant who escaped a life of abuse at the age of 17. And he came here and he was converted to Christianity in his 20s from a televangelist. And he was working here in the inner city. And when he himself witnessed abuse, he had experienced abuse growing up and he now witnessed it. And he went home troubled, not sure how to handle this, but he talked to Maite, and together they decided in that night that they would take action, that they wouldn't be silent, that they would do something. And so they brought sandwiches back to the Tenderloin and they gave them out, and that was the beginning of this 36-year journey called San Francisco City Impact. A journey that has made an enormous impact in just countless lives. And in doing so, they've involved the community who can help. That's how I got involved. I also converted to Christianity about 4 years ago, and immediately people started saying, you have to learn about City Impact. You have to experience this thing. You have to go see it. And so I did. I went to this 2017 annual conference, and I was doing some street ministry, talking to the homeless. And I have to tell you, I was really scared, actually. You know, I work at Salesforce, just blocks from here. I've worked there for over a decade. And so I pass by this community all the time, and I've never known how to communicate, what I can do, what should I do. I've been really at a loss. And so this conference showed me how, and it's as simple as giving, as saying hi, as having a conversation, as smiling. It was absolutely transformative, that one day of being here and seeing what this organization is all about, that I, in that day, decided that I would dedicate a big chunk of my life to giving back to this particular community. It is the expression of love. It is the expression of the love that I feel like I've been given and the blessing that I've been given. So I immediately went back to work the next day and I organized volunteer events, and we had hundreds of employees come out and give their time, and just blown away by what this experience was like and what San Francisco City Impact is actually doing to help people. It's not a handout, it's not just food, it is absolutely transformative. So over 1,000 volunteer hours just from Salesforce alone, and I brought my own family here, and we sponsor a child, and I can't be involved enough. I love this organization so much. And I'm happy that you've joined us and that you can get a glimpse of what I've been able to see, what so many of us have been able to witness firsthand is life transformation right here before us. And we all have an opportunity to give, and we do want to ask that of you today. We want to ask you to consider what you can do to give. You know, it's as simple as texting SFCI to 50155. What life will you change? How many lives can you change with giving back the many blessings that we've been given? So with that, I just want to invite you to watch the stories of the Tenderloin. Watch and see how you can give back. Thank you.
This is the last frontier for just the poor, the broken.
So geographically, the Tenderloin is in the heart of the city. Market Street intersects the art district and the old entertainment district, which is the Tenderloin now. The Tenderloin's really about people ending up in this 1 square mile that are just navigating life. All the decisions that they've ever made has led them to this very moment. And I think they're really just trying to, get through the day. In those days, they're still making bad decisions, but if we can intercept and show them a glimpse of hope, like a glimpse of hope, that might just be enough to slowly get them out of where they're at. But it's not overnight, and it's not just a program. It's like consistency, and it's like showing up and showing up and showing up.
Just an immigrant that came here, left home at age 17. I got off work one day. I just noticed a young boy, he was getting harassed and beat up by some older kids. Because I came through this physical abuse background, so it really shook me. And I was able to drive away from here to my house, maybe 20 minutes drive, and God spoke to me. He impressed in my heart. He said, "What if that was your son? What would you do?" I said, "Well, if that was my son, I would have jumped out of my car and rescued him." And he said, "For me, they're all the same." The following day, I came here with 50 sandwiches, and that was 35 years ago. We never stopped. We just kept on coming.
So we would take the kids from the Tenderloin in the van, and we put like 17 kids into one van. You open, it was like Pillsbury Puff Boy. When you open that door, poof, they jump out. So that's how we started, our own services and Sunday schools.
So we started a program called Super Saturday. We show up on Saturday. I had a megaphone, and I just go, "Super Saturday," and all the kids open the windows, we wave, and they just come down. But we didn't have any support, but there were empty buildings in the Tenderloin. So we just go into the empty building, no electricity, the door is open, no water. We have our little program, then we just walk right out. And so that's kind of how we started the whole thing.
We used to call every ministry now that we have a net. The rescue mission, it's a net. People come in and we tell them about Jesus. The school, it's a net, the kids hear about Jesus. Our job is to just bring them in.
City Impact provides a place for the community to be part of a family, for the community to have a true, genuine relationship. At the Rescue Mission, we provide groceries for all the people in the community, for all the buildings around the area, a hot meal in the morning and dinner at night. After that, they're able to connect with our social services department to get plugged in to see if there's anything else that they need. Threads for Therapy is a secondhand store that provides affordable clothes for kids and women in the Tenderloin district, and that in turn funds the therapy play-based groups. Caring for humanity is part of our calling. We're called to love our neighbor. We're called to show compassion and help people. And I think it's in our best interest to help other people and care. Whether it's the Tenderloin or your neighbor or in your own backyard, the Tenderloin is an easy sell because you can see it and you can feel it, you can smell it. It's happening all around everyone. And if you don't have compassion, then why are we here?
Good evening. It's so good to have you join us virtually tonight. It's so important for you to participate during this time. You have been faithful and loyal to the work that we do here. Because of you, we have been able to feed thousands of people during this COVID situation or during this pandemic. So tonight I want to invite you to hear some of the stories and testimonies. I guarantee you, you will be touched and you will want to participate and give generously. We felt it's appropriate to open this evening with health and wellness, and because COVID is on everybody's mind. And I want to take this time to thank Dr. Jan. Because of your faithfulness and commitment, we're able to continue to do what we do. And for the people in the Tenderloin, it's a great challenge. But because of you, Dr. Jan, and many other helps that we're able to keep this door open, please watch this video. God bless you.
The Tenderloin district is about 1 square mile. About 30,000 residents live here in single-room occupancy buildings, and the city's 6,000 to 8,000 homeless residents will make their way through this community, since this is a hub of services for meals, medical, and all sorts of things. The Tenderloin district is about 1 square mile. About 30,000 residents live here in single-room occupancy buildings, and the city's 6,000 to 8,000 homeless residents will make their way through this community, since this is a hub of services for meals, medical, and all sorts of things.
San Francisco City Impact started 35 years ago. My wife and I, we felt compelled. We wanted to do something. So we came here with 50 sandwiches and just started talking to the homeless.
There was no business plan, there was no model to follow. It was just, they saw a need and they did something about it. And so fast forward now, 35 years later, we are a rescue mission where we serve 2 meals every single weekday. We have a food pantry, we have a social services department here, and beyond that we have a K-8 school where about 100 kids come. We have the health and wellness center where we do free medical, dental, and orthodontics and resourcing.
I go to these cities, San Francisco particularly, Union Square, but yet this Tenderloin district, this small area of so many people, it was just right next to it. I would see homelessness. You have 2 choices. 1, ignore it, or 2, have compassion. Do something about it.
One of the realities when we look at the need of the Tenderloin in the inner city, you have about 30,000 residents. City Impact, we only have about 30 staff. So that ratio is about 1,000 per staff member. One of our biggest needs is just more people.
The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Everyone who can come out, support, chip in, makes a huge difference. Because this problem with homelessness and poverty can be fixed. We can overcome this, but it takes everyone to pitch in. These are people with names and stories, and you connect with them.
If it wasn't for this clinic, a lot of us wouldn't be healthy again. Taking the time to let us know, hey, you have somebody who has your back here. I am a human being, I am a person, just because I live out in the street.
We really take seriously like this truth that it's more blessed to give than to receive. And leveraging your talents and gifts and abilities for the sake of a place that is often ignored and left out. Those who are serving are blessed.
A lot of times, truthfully, I walk away from the clinic sad that I have to leave. That I have to go back. There's a big need there. This is not a third world problem. This is a problem we have in our own cities. These are our fellow men that are on the streets.
San Francisco City Impact is reaching the entire community, so your contribution is important. You can come in and help us with your time, your energy, your services, as well as your generous giving. Our tagline is changing one life at a time.
Thank you, Dr. Jang, for all of your work. You are truly on the front lines of this crisis here in the Health and Wellness Center. And if you can imagine the already dire situation here in the Tenderloin, from poverty to addiction to mental health issues, that has been absolutely magnified by the COVID-19 crisis. Families are in much higher need now, coming to the rescue mission in particular for meals, for groceries, sometimes lines wrapped around the block. And immediately, this team was able to rally and feed this community that so needs to feed their own families. So with that, I just want to welcome the director of our rescue mission, Pastor Ralph, who will share how we've been able to do that.
Hello, my name is Pastor Ralph Gella, and I oversee the San Francisco Rescue Mission and the Food Bank. And I've been here serving at City Impact for over 30 years. Now, these last couple of years, I've been focusing on the rescue mission. And here's what the rescue mission does. It oversees the community with services, and we have a morning service, breakfast for the residents, and then the evening service. We have dinner, hot meals for the rescue mission and the folks that are here. And the people that we serve are from all walks of life, from the homeless to the residents, to the senior citizens, and to the families, and whosoever would come in for our services. One thing about the rescue mission, it's a very personal ministry where they would come in, sit down, and we have opportunity to get to know them, build relationship, and of course to share the love of God. And I'm excited about the rescue mission because we're known here for the food that we serve is very good, and the amount of food we give out is a lot. And because of that, you know, we get a lot of folks coming through here to receive food, but also to build good, healthy relationships. The rescue mission continues to serve the community with many, many meals and resources. But because of COVID, things have changed. We normally have been serving, believe it or not, we've normally served about 150 people come through our dining room in the evenings. on a daily basis. But because of COVID, actually it has increased even more. Over 500 people are served in our morning session with groceries and our afternoon with hot meals. And we continue to provide these resources to the many folks that come during this season. And I'm excited to say that as we go into the holidays, Thanksgiving, imagine this, Thanksgiving, we're gonna serve 1,000 grocery boxes to the residents and the people of the Tenderloin. The San Francisco Rescue Mission Food Bank continues to provide the resources that we have, grocery bags, to the many people of the Tenderloin, and including our departments. And one of those departments is the San Francisco City Academy. I'm excited to know that we're able to help these many, many families. In our school, over half these families or parents have lost their jobs, and they're having a very difficult time during this COVID-19 season. And believe it or not, as a food bank, we're able to provide weekly a nice grocery bag for these families. And I'm excited because even one of our old former students who used to come to our school, but because he knows who we are and what we can provide, has come back because his parents have lost their jobs as well. So we're open not just for our school, but all the families of the Tenderloin can come and receive a nice box of groceries during this difficult time. Another department that we serve as a food bank is one of our largest department, which is Adopt a Building, or AAB. And Adopt a Building has a mission. And their mission is to go into these buildings to build relationship, to love on people, and to share the hope of God. You know, and one of the things we do at Adopt a Building is that we go door to door, we visit them, we spend time with them. And let me paint a picture of some of these buildings. We call them SROs, or single room occupancy. These are people that are what we call shut in. They're lonely, they're by themselves, they have nobody, no family, and some of them are physically not well. So our mission is to go in there through Adopt a Building and build these relationships and let them know that we care about them. And one thing about food, because food is the language of the Tenderloin, you know, we want to come in there and bring a hot meal. We want to come in there and bring some groceries. And because of that, we're able to build relationship. I'm reminded of the many, many volunteers that I have at the Rescue Mission, believe it or not, because somebody went and knocked on their door, gave them a hot meal or a bag of groceries. And because of that relationship, I have many that now volunteer at the Rescue Mission on a daily basis. So Adopt a Building, again, is one of our biggest ministry, and we're excited to be able to provide resources and food to the many hurting people in these buildings. And thank you again for your continuing support here at City Impact and for the people of the Tenderloin. Your support has made a difference. Today I want to introduce you to one of our neighbors.
Tenderloin is a rough and tumble place to live. You have to keep your eye on yourself and watch out for yourself. I've become homeless for a while, about 6 months in LA and about 6 months here in San Francisco. Well, I started having thoughts that weren't right, and then I left my apartment in LA. When you go out, when you're on the street, you take on a new perspective on things. It's totally different than if you're settled in a place. I was in a manic state most of the time, and I was running up and down the hills here in San Francisco with my backpack. I was really off the deep end, and God had to get me settled down with a psychiatrist and some medication. And I've had a series of diagnoses. First of all, I was schizophrenic, then I was schizoaffective, and then they diagnosed me with the bipolar in about 13 years ago.
There's so many stories of unfortunate circumstances, of hard times, of difficulty in the Tenderloin district, and yet none are more tragic than those of men and women who suffer from mental health and mental illness. Here in the Tenderloin, there are about 19,000 people who suffer some form of mental illness, from multiple personality disorder to bipolar to schizophrenia. And a dear friend of ours, Tom, went through a life of just dealing with these struggles of uncertainty of when the symptoms were going to come back or go away. We want to highlight Tom's story and how He didn't necessarily choose a life of homelessness. He didn't choose a life of poverty or struggle, but because of his mental health issues, he found himself in pain, in hurt. And so we met Tom here at City Impact in our rescue mission, which is such a common thread of so many of these residents here in the Tenderloin because they come in for these meals. He was dealing with his symptoms. He didn't have any real way out. He wasn't sure what the future was going to look like with his mental health illness. And today he still struggles. But now here he's a part of a community that loves him, that points him to Jesus, that points him to the gospel. And now he's leading a Bible study in his building. He is evangelizing and sharing with those who don't know about what we're doing here. And it's such a joy to see him plugged into community. Help us help people just like Tom.
There are so many other Toms all alone in this community, just seeking friendship and family. We can provide that for them by investing in City Impact. Just text SFCI to 50155. Another program that's making a difference in this community to so many children is called City Kids. Let's hear now from Jared Gella, the director of City Kids.
Through our after-school program, our target is really helping 5th to 8th grade students, which is a huge demographic of students in the Tenderloin that are unreached, that there's not a lot of programs for them. And so through this, we've been able to create a really cool, unique online space that's all virtual, so kids from home can access live tutoring support, live help. They'll be able to access music programs called Soundtrap, and so they can make cool, awesome beats all online. We've been able to offer a really cool custom-made art program so kids can learn the principles of design, as well as learning how to code and do things like making video games through Minecraft all online. So we've been able to do all of this we created this over the summer, we've been doing this through this school year. It's been a really cool resource for a lot of the families here who are struggling, especially at times like when schools are closed and just so much unknown going on. And so our team has been really, really critical being a support to all of the kids and families here in the Tenderloin. With all of our amazing resources and our academic centers, none of this would be possible without all our incredible volunteers and all our incredible sponsors helping support our ministry here in the Tenderloin. Thank you.
Students who graduate from City Academy go on to do amazing things. Nadu graduated and is now at Cal Berkeley. So here to share the effect that City Impact has had on his life, Nadu.
Hey everyone, my name is Nadu Nabogu. I attended City Academy from kindergarten through 8th grade, a full 9-year stint. While City Academy nurtured me academically, it also set a strong emotional and spiritual foundation, which I followed for the rest of my life. After graduating from City Academy, I finished off at Gateway High School, and I am now attending UC Berkeley. God still often gives me great and unique opportunities to serve Him. One of these opportunities came to me in June. Now, Jared is somebody I've known since I was a little boy. His father works at City Impact, and he himself now helps out at City Impact. And Jared said, Nadu, would you like to help with our City Kids program? City Kids is our after-school program for 5th through 8th grade students where we help them with homework, teach them how to code, music making, t-shirt design, and digital art. And it's been great to be involved because we get to reach kids in very unique ways. When you support us, you are continuing that loop and continue to support City Impact. Thank you for listening to me.
Wow, thank you, Nadu, for just giving of your heart, giving mentorship to these kids that need it so much. One of the most impactful ways that we can really help this community is by reaching the children, reaching them at the beginning of this cycle, before the cycle of poverty starts. And we've been able to do that with City Academy, which was the very first school here in the Tenderloin and has been in operation for 23 years, making a huge difference in the lives of so many. I myself have been sponsoring a child through City Academy, and it's just been an incredible way to give back. You can imagine, though, what these children are experiencing, and that is just magnified by COVID-19 and suddenly having to distance learn in a situation that may involve poverty and parents working and seeking jobs. It's very difficult right now. But with that, we want to hear how we've been able to cope with this crisis. So let's learn more about how this school is operating.
Hi, I'm Alex Kwok. I'm the Operations Director here at SF City Impact. Thank you so much for your support over this year. We couldn't have done this without you guys. The Academy has been an incredible journey for all of us. We spent a lot of time preparing for this school year, as most other schools have done, because the issue of COVID has pretty much derailed everything that we planned earlier. So it was a lot of going back to the drawing board constantly with our teachers and with our staff. But through the process, we were able to come across some great ideas and implement some awesome things for the community. So our goal this whole time was to make sure that we were serving our kids and families to the best of our abilities. So in going into distance learning, because of you, we've been able to provide every kid with a device that they can use from home. And not every student in the city and in America has this privilege. So we were glad to grant this to our families. They're incredibly happy to receive this and to be a part of this program. Secondly, for the families that had parents who are essential workers who couldn't be home to make sure that their kids were on task, we were actually able to partner with the city in opening up our doors to be able to have the students do, ironically enough, their distance learning here on site with us. So we were able to commission what we call our proctors, or some of City Impact staff, to be able to be in the room with some of these students while they learned to make sure that they were on task, that they were communicating with their teachers, and to troubleshoot any digital problems that they may have. So we experienced a ton of success with the students who really just needed this service so that they could have a space to learn properly. It's a great distraction-free environment where we are maintaining every COVID protocol we possibly can, and these students are way better off than they ever would have been without this.
Hi everyone, I'm Joanne Torgeson. I am the Curriculum Director here at SFCA. We are so excited to have you join us virtually this evening. Our world has changed, and so has our school. And I just want to share so many things that we are doing here at school so that we can make our school like a family, not just for our students, but also for their family and our staff. We have come together in ways since COVID has hit that really just shows God's love, God's generosity, and we are able to provide a wonderful education for our students. We all know that there have been so many challenges that have come with COVID-19. We are all trying to navigate a world through virtual means. Can you imagine being in kindergarten trying to learn how to read or hold your pencil while your teacher's on a Zoom call? This is where our school has just done so much to help prepare students and families for this new world we live in. And we are so excited that just a few weeks ago, we were able to open our kindergarten, first and second grade classrooms for families who feel comfortable sending their children to school. This will enable families to go to work, families to look for jobs, parents to also just take a moment to take a breather from parenting and trying to teach their children at the same time, because that's really, really difficult. We are so excited that each of our students is able to have some type of computer device that is age appropriate for them to be able to learn on, whether they come to school or whether they are learning through means at home. We all know that learning in a virtual world is very, very difficult, and we are so thankful, as I stated, to have some of our students on campus, but we also know that right now we can't have all of our students here. So we have done all we can to support those students at home. Each student has their own computer to be able to Zoom and research and hand in their homework virtually. Our teachers are finding new and inventive ways to reach and teach each student, whether it be through Zoom, Seesaw, so many other ways that they can meet the needs, as well as old-fashioned phone calls just to talk and connect with our students. Thank you all so much for listening and learning, and for most importantly, taking the time to be here with us. Your support is really essential to keep City Academy growing and supporting our families. Our families are hard-working, loving, caring families who really want the best for their children, and they absolutely deserve to have that for their children. You are going to be introduced to one of our families. She is a sweet little third grader who just joined our school this year. Her name is Angelica, and here is her family's story. Thank you.
Hello, I'm a parent of Angelica O, who's attending the San Francisco Academy City Impact to get my two boys in, but somehow I don't quite enough have any money, so I cannot do it. For me, it's really great to have you guys in City Impact in Tenderloin. I think it's a great help. Angie, I thought that she's gonna have a hard time because her education from Cambodia is not, really effective, But I think Miss Gallas and the school, staff really give her the care and also understand what she needs. I work very hard, but the pandemic really kicked us, not just kick and push it down so hard. We thank you very much from the bottom of our heart. Let me show you. This is hey, stand up. This is Zachary. He's 12.
Angie.
And this is Angie. The now Tony just a little taller than usual. He's 14 right now. So this is our family. So if you see us on the street, say hello. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Howard. This is the first time in 30 years that Howard has not been able to provide for his children. His wife is a beautician and also unable to work. Would you be willing to sponsor his two boys so that they can attend City Academy? It's only $38 a month. Just text SFCI to 50155. Now let's hear a very inspiring story from one of our child sponsors, Harry.
My name is Harry, and I'm 88 years old. I have a regular life. I visit with friends. I have coffee with people. I have lunch with people. I met Jackie in 1953 when I was in the Navy. It was only for a week or so that I knew her. She moved to San Francisco and we started dating. And in 1954, we got married. Jackie and I were married 60 years. Jackie said that she wanted to sponsor a child. I think it was her feeling for family that first moved her to consider sponsorship. He was in second grade, very shy, very quiet. We spent a lot of time picking out books and proper toys, other things, and candy. In 2015, Jackie passed away. And shortly after, I went to visit Kurt, and he had written a note to me. And he said something to the effect of, "I'm sorry you've lost your love, but she's with Jesus, and he will look out for her." I was so touched. When she passed away, felt that that's something that she would have wanted me to do, to carry on that relationship with him. So now he's in 8th grade, and I'm so proud of him. And he's gone from that shy, quiet boy to a very confident, outgoing, poised young man. In my relationship with Kurt, I somehow have the feeling that I got more from the relationship than he did. It's been so satisfying for me to see him grow year by year and to see the influence that the Academy has had on his life.
So many of our kids just come from such brokenness, and that brokenness is really rooted in a place where there's a lack of love. A lot of our kids are just always asking, does anybody care for me? Does anybody love me? Is anybody on my side? What is my purpose? The power of sponsorship is that whenever you pick up that child profile and sponsor that child, you are saying that you love them and that you care for them. It really just connects two different people from such different backgrounds on that one singular thing, that there is hope and that there is a love that bonds them.
Wow. Harry's story shows us that no matter what we're dealing with in life, we can make a difference. And if you want to make a difference tonight, maybe become a child sponsor yourself at $38 a month, just text SFCI to 50155. And thank you, all of you who have heard these stories tonight from parents and students and volunteers. You know, it's incredible how little it takes to have an impact on another person's life. I know for me, this has been one of the most meaningful things I've ever been a part of. Just these past 4 years of volunteering and sponsoring has made an enormous difference in my life and the hundreds of people that I've been able to bring over as volunteers. We're hoping to sponsor 100 children tonight. Will you sponsor a child? Will you give that opportunity to somebody who needs it so much? Just text SFCI to 50155. Another thing we hope to do is to feed 15,000 people by Thanksgiving. That's just $2.05 per meal. Will you feed somebody in the Tenderloin? How many people can you provide that to? It's a gift to give. We all know that. And especially during this time of COVID, when we know we're suffering, this is not easy for anybody, but imagine the children who are distance learning in this environment, whose parents have to go find work, who are having trouble just getting enough food for the day. Can you make a difference in their life? Can you make a difference in the life of the person just blocks from your building potentially? You know, companies often will match your donation. I know mine does. We've been able to donate and be matched by thousands of dollars. Apple, all of the big tech companies here have matching programs. Check it and see if your company has that. It's an incredible way to give and double it, right? Just text SFCI to 50155. And I just want to give a personal shout out to Roger and his wife Maite, who have made such an impact in my life to kind of open this door for a way that I can have more purpose, that I can give all of the blessings that I've been given just back. It's been an incredible blessing. I've brought my kids out here, my teenagers. We knock on doors and have the most incredible conversations. People who say, thank you, they thank us for coming, and in fact it's a gift to everybody involved. So I'm just blessed incredibly by this organization, and I know that you are too, and I just thank you for giving us your time tonight. And again, with that, thank you to Roger and to Maite and to all of you.
Wow, we have come to the end of this evening. Thank you, Sue, and thank you all for participating in this exciting night. I'm sure you have been touched through the stories. I wanted to thank you on behalf of the people from the Tenderloin and from our staff, because without you, it will be impossible. We need to work together, and we have. And I want to thank you for your participation. I would like to pray for you tonight because of your generosity and your hearts. You have a heart of compassion. And I want to pray for you, your loved ones, tonight. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you that you have made it possible for these precious donors, volunteers, people that want to participate in this work that belongs to you, because your heart is tender towards the poor, the needy, and they have decided to join in. Will you bless them, protect them, give them the desire of their hearts? And God, we pray that as they give, you will give unto them in different ways. We thank you that we're able to do this together in the name of Jesus. Amen.